The NFL is back, and we are in week 4. Things have been wild on both conferences. I'm your host, Jezenia Marrero, alongside Isaiah Maldonado and Jaiden Hope, and today we are diving into the AFC. Let's kick things off with the AFC North. The Steelers are at the top, and the Cincinnati Bengals are at the bottom, 0-3, even though they have their star quarterback, Joe Burrow, back from injuries. Jaiden, what surprises you most about this?
The thing that surprises me the most is how bad the Bengals defense has been so far this season. Joe Burrow since he's got back from his injury, has actually been pretty good. He's been pretty solid. And I think that the offense is gelling well and playing good football, and they just got T. Higgins back. The defense has definitely been disappointing, and they need to get it together. The Bengals want to have a deep run.
Definitely. Isaiah, what do you think?
I think touching on the Bengals, you had the whole offseason problems going on with Jamar Chase's contract extension. I feel like there was some conflict there. T. Higgins, like you said, we just came back, but wasn't there for the first 2 games. So it was kind of a struggle to get that offense flowing. And then now you have just even Boyd not being there. You're starting to really see that. Their offense has to get things together. Defense hasn't been great either. So I think it's a little bit too early to call things out for the Bengals, but this is a concerning start for them for sure.
I'm glad you guys touched on the bottom, but I'm going to start with the top. The Steelers really just shocked me. Justin Fields coming in his first year from the Browns previously, and then even just the way that he's been able to adjust with the Steelers defense, offense, and just really work well as a team. And then under them, the Ravens is a team that really just caught me off guard. Last year, they were supposed to make it to the Super Bowl. They were so close, and to come off of that high and just to such a awkward position they're in now, Lamar Jackson really hasn't been playing to his potential, which I think is also because of their offensive line that he has. And then Derrick Henry, I just thought I was expecting to see more from him, not so late into the season. You know, he played really good against the Cowboys, but just what do you guys think about that?
Well, to touch base on Derrick Henry, I think that the Cowboys defense has also been pretty bad this season. Alvin Kamara has ran for 4 touchdowns the week before Derrick Henry tore them up. So, but I think that was a good game for Derrick Henry to kind of, get things going in the right direction. And I think that the Ravens see when you hand Derrick Henry the football, good things can happen.
Absolutely. He ran for 151 yards, 25 carries, and scoring 2 touchdowns in that game. So he definitely had a lot of dominance.
Yeah, touching base on that, I think once again, we've seen what Derrick Henry can do with a bad offensive line, and we thought the Ravens would kind of give him a better situation, but they're like the 25th ranked offensive lineman per PFF. They're missing out on Kevin Zeitler. They're missing out on Moses. He's kind of having to, once again, force these gaps the same way he did with the Titans. And when you have Derrick Henry, you have Lamar Jackson, that running game is going to be dynamic, but that can't be the only thing that's kind of structuring your offensive game. You need to have that consistent basis with better passing targets. We say Flowers, kind of a shaky start, haven't seen much from him, so we need to see a lot more things going on from the receiving core.
And Isaiah, you already touched on the Cincinnati Bengals that are 0-3 right now, but it's also Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Titans. Which one surprises you the most?
I would have to say the Titans, honestly. There were so many key additions that they had in the offseason. You pick up the Jerry Sneed, who, with the performance he had in the Super Bowl, you would think that that's a big difference maker for this just secondary for the Titans. And you lose out on Derrick Henry, but you get a really solid back in Tony Pollard. Obviously, he's not going to exactly match that level of production, but throughout these first couple weeks, he's been really solid. But the Titans' defense has been bad. They're letting up a lot of points. I think it's like 24th in the league. Offense really hasn't been that good. Will Levis has looked like the savior for the Titans on some plays, and he'll just throw the ball away on the next one. So that inconsistent play is really hurting them.
And you, Jaiden?
I think that their biggest problem not only has been the defense has been pretty bad, but I think they have a quarterback issue with Will Levis. It just seems like every time he's getting ready to take a sack or getting ready to go down, he just tries to make a superhero play instead of just going down and forces a turnover and puts the other team in a great position to score. So I think Will Levis just needs to kind of stop trying to play hero ball and just, work with the weapons that they got in the offseason. They got a lot of good weapons on offense and defense as well.
So I think that you guys made great points, but I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe because I'm from Florida, but yes, they haven't had a great offense in a while. But I was just expecting a little bit more from Trevor Lawrence this season. I mean, we saw on Monday Night Football them completely get demolished by the Bills. The Bills are doing really good, but for them to just have no momentum and just really not carry themselves was very surprising. And they had a pretty good amount of people from the draft. They got a defensive back, an O-lineman, a defensive tackle. They had good people and a wide receiver from LSU. So I feel like they could utilize that better. Lastly, Jaiden, going into week 4, what do you expect different from the AFC? Like, which game are you expecting to do better, and which game are you looking forward to?
Honestly, I think that the Bengals have a big game coming up in week 4. They play the Carolina Panthers. As we know, the Panthers did win last week, but as we know, the Panthers have been historically bad over the last few
Hopefully
seasons.
it's an easy one.
So I think that this should be a dominating win for them, in all honesty, and this should probably build some momentum for them towards the back end of the season.
Isaiah?
Yeah, if they don't get a win off of a team that just benched their first overall pick from not even 2 full years ago, we saw what Andy Dalton did, 3 passing touchdowns, so with a really struggling core. But in that situation, I have faith in Andy Dalton. But if you can't overcome that, that's a really bad look. To go 0-4 and to have the loss be to the Panthers, who just lost Adam Thielen to injury, bad.
I agree with both of you guys. I'm really looking forward to the Bills-Ravens games. The Ravens need this win to get that momentum back, to get their confidence back. It's going to be a nice matchup with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, so I'm hoping they get to take that win home. Just because, like I said previously, they were doing so good last season. For them to just fall off was really upsetting. But it should be a very interesting week in the NFL as we approach week 4. But that wraps it up for this edition of Culture Central Sports. Don't forget to catch our other segment, Focus on Everything Happening in the NFC, hosted by Andre Monroe. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for more great content from Culture Central Sports.